Thank you for attending today's session. I really appreciate you being here. Um, my name is Leah DeHoot. I am your Associate Director. I am new to the CFC, but I am not new to public service. My mom has spent my life serving children and family services in various positions. My father was a postmaster. I myself spent 10 years in the private sector before pivoting to my international development career. I began that as a Peace Corps volunteer in Mongolia, spent 2 years there, and then recently graduated from the University of Pittsburgh with my master's degree in international development. And spent time in Jordan while getting that, serving communities in Jordan and locally as well. So thank you again. I'm so excited to be here and help talk about this campaign and how to make it great. It really is like individuals like you that for the past 60 years, this program has been able to help those in need around the world. So thank you for taking on the role of campaign manager, or if you're here as a key worker, you are very essential as well. So thank you so much. While I'm thinking of it, please take a minute to add your name and agency in the chat now, and your role, whether a campaign manager or key worker. And while you're doing that, a quick minute to go over some housekeeping. If you do have multiple tabs up, it's recommended to close those in the windows as it optimizes your experience. And I can monitor the chat, but it's a small group here today. So I prefer just, if you have a question, stop me, take yourself off mute and ask. I'm happy to answer questions throughout. So that is that. Let's get started. So today's session will include the what, why, and how of CFC, and then we'll address specific roles and responsibilities as a campaign worker, including managing, marketing, and reporting your campaign. And we'll walk through tools and resources that are available for 2021 and where to find them. And then, of course, like I said, if any point, we'll be stopping for questions, but if any point you have a question, please let me know. All right, welcome to everyone. Okay, so, whoops, did I? Oh, okay. Sometimes my mouse does things on its own. All right, so as you can see here, the impact through the CFC has been and is substantial. So in 2020, the CFC raised over $81.5 million. We've grown from less than 50 national charities to more than 5,000 national charities. It began with only federal employees, and now retirees and contractors are included. For those of you, we're still introducing ourselves, but if you're new to the CFC, it's a tradition every fall. And prior to the CFC, any charity could request to have a fundraiser at a workplace. So it got a little bit crowded. There was some, disruptive moments of not being able to accommodate everyone. So in 1961, 60 years ago, President Kennedy signed an executive order, and thus the combined federal campaign was born. So charities are vetted and can fundraise within the workplace during this specific time period. And now federal employees, retirees, and contractors have the opportunity to give to those. So it's really the best of both worlds. And so during this training, we're going to talk about some other, very special advantages of the CFC and how you can encourage your coworkers to join the CFC community and continue to change the world together. So what is our zone? Our zone includes approximately 34,000 federal, military, and postal personnel from over 140 agencies. And the agencies are organized by geographic area. So we have Western Pennsylvania with 38 counties, including Pittsburgh, West Virginia with 48 counties, and Ohio with 2 counties of Belmont and Monroe. So in 2020, You can see here the historical data a little bit. We had 739 donors. 718 of those donors were federal employee pledges. We had 19 retiree pledges and 2 contractor pledges, raising almost $400,000. So that is very impressive. And we also very impressive is that we had over 250 hours pledged, which was quite a bit higher than the year before. So, you know, in a year where nonprofits were very much affected by COVID-19 and desperate need of volunteers, you know, federal employees like you stepped up and volunteered, and that's something you may choose to do for a cause that you support this year, and you can even do so remotely. So keep that in mind as you're sharing ways to give, includes volunteer hours. So moving on. All right, so I want to know, have you served as a campaign manager before? So launching the poll, I love technology, I love technology. So it's just a one question of, is it your first time? Have you been doing this for a while? Or are you somewhere in the middle? So appreciate you taking a minute and answering that poll so we can get to know one another. All right, and well, we do have a mix, don't we? So first timer, few years, and then more than a few. So that's awesome. I'm hopeful. Like I said, this is you know, it's small. It's meant to you know, be interactive as much as I can, but certainly welcome any of your you know, lessons learned from last year to help those newer newbies or newer. Okay, so here are our zones campaign dates. National campaign started on September 1st, but our local zone started on Monday, the 20th, and goes until January 15th, 2022. So that's the campaign period. And you can think about, you know, when you want your campaign to kick off as well. So the theme of this year's campaign is You Can Be the Face of Change. So it uses storytelling profiles and compelling photos of real federal employees to invite federal employees and retirees to join the CFC community and share and change the world together. So it's a peer-to-peer marketing approach and designed to feature, you know, as I said, real people as the face of change. So people like ourselves giving to charities through the CFC to change the world for the better together. And I'll be going over the directions to create those, but it's a simple way of getting, you know, having your colleagues get to know you and seeing what causes are important to you. I've included mine here as an example. So this one is talking about my support of human rights and fight for gender equality. But I made one for environmental protection as well. You can make as many as you want. There's many great causes out there that the CFC supports. And then on the right, you see some group copy. And so this one is for the civilian example. So we are the faces of change, and then list the varying employees. You know, every year we give, change the world together. So this theme is, you know, iterated in various ways throughout the materials. Not only are you change makers, but you'll be inviting your coworkers to join you. So it's I really like it because, like, you know, like you said, it's real people. You know, try to find a picture of you somewhere, you know, outside, somewhere fun. It could be your pet, like whatever, whoever you want that face to be. But it's the messaging that's really great. And we do have 3 specific group profile posters. So one for the Postal Service, one for Department of Defense, and then as you see here, the one on the right is for civilian. All right, now your role as a campaign manager can be divided into 3 areas. So you have campaign management, campaign marketing, and campaign reporting. So we're going to talk about management first. You'll learn how to, about your role, how to develop and manage your campaign plan, tips on engaging leadership, what's your agency look like, identifying and training your key workers, and then of course we'll talk about meeting with your team. So as a reminder, we do want to encourage others to participate and share in our passion. But the CFC is a completely volunteer-based program. So when you're speaking of building your team, you want to convey that this is a volunteer-based program, so that any sort of coercion or 100% participation rate or whatnot is not allowed. All right. So yeah, this is I just like this icon. I like this just kind of talks about, the workflow of you're going to build your team. You want to be engaging your leadership. You might be asking them to help with finding key workers, talking about hosting events, collect pledges, and then of course at the end, recognizing all of the key workers and whatnot. If you're a team of one, I'll do my best to recognize you as well. It's all a teamwork and working together with this. And keep in mind that we'll have a campaign management guide. So not to worry, we're going to go over a lot, but it all can be found in a guide that's available on the website. All right, so developing a plan. You're doing the first part, which is attending trainings. I'm now having trainings on Thursdays. So if you have key workers that are interested or know a fellow campaign manager wasn't able to make it today, we're going to continue to have them as needed. You want to talk about, think about what you want your campaign to look like. Okay, so it's however you want it to look like. And as far as the pace, starting, the important part is the plan, right? As any great project, it's all in the planning. So, making sure you have things fleshed out. Yes, it's official start date has begun, but you have until January 15th. So I know this is a very busy time. So figuring out what kind of pace you're going to do, if you're just going to have a few things spread out, or if you want to capture that in like a month. Again, it's really up to you. The important part is being able to keep that engagement and that energy. And I know that we're dealing with different types of work environment, whether we're 100% remote, 100% in person, somewhere in between. So figuring how you can engage others, and of course, promoting either your events, but also we're going to have events as well. So that can be part of your plan as well. Okay, so and we have, again, I'll be showing you the website shortly, but we have various communication plans available for you. That includes email templates, timeframes, when to send it. We have weekly cause weeks. There's a lot already created, so please utilize that. It's really helpful, and especially since I know you all are very busy and fitting this into a busy schedule. So want to use what is already available. So this is what it looks like. I will be sending the totals from previous years to you all, and use it as a guide, just something to think about as far as things that your campaign may include. Doesn't have to include all, but just ideas for activities and then a potential schedule. I'm happy to go over it with you if you're stuck or just wanna us to go through one-on-one. I'm happy to do that and available, and would love to do that. All right, so leadership support is one of the key elements of a successful campaign. So you want to think about ways that your agency's leadership can help you promote the campaign. Again, CFC does not allow for leaders to directly ask people to pledge or set 100% participation goals. They can and should provide general, visible, and tangible support for the CFC. And, when they do, or if they do pledge, getting a picture. When they're attending events, get a picture, spreading the word of what's going on, and showing that supportive leadership is key to getting the word out and having a successful campaign. They also may be able to offer incentives. If you are in person, if there's that coveted parking spot, I know it'd be nice to give a parking spot and talk about CFC, maybe some lunch with leadership or gift cards, or, whatever they feel is appropriate, just ways to, endorse the CFC. And then, of course, including them in recognition to campaign workers. And again, if so allow, providing the parking spot or whatnot, but just including them in your campaign will be very important. We also will have the leadership toolkit, which has resources available for them as well. So if they are interested in looking at the speeches that are already crafted and individualizing, that's where, yeah, editing as they would like, but there's things already crafted, so it's available for them to use as they wish. And again, depending on your agency structure, you need to figure out how many employees there may be. Your office may have a certain number, but how many are in the entire agency? I know I'm particularly interested in as far as, if there's a large number of employees, if you're in person, I can, if you would like, send materials. So get in touch with me and figure out, what's needed. But just as an overall help to me, it's nice to know, if there's different service lines or, sub offices, what your agency looks like. So that's helpful for us to help you. So please provide us with any changes, any restructuring, and when you provide total numbers, if you know the total number of the agency and your office is that of that, it's very helpful. You want to, if there's multiple offices, create a list of each office and their corresponding CFC codes, along with the zip code to provide to your team. If you're not sure of your CFC code, please let me know. I'm happy to find that for you. All right, so we have 3 different buckets here. You want to build your team, train your team, and motivate your team. So in building your team, a good ratio to remember is 1 key worker to every 25 employees. Now that was based on in person. So if you're virtual, even partial or 100%, you can talk with me or previous campaign managers about what you think a good number would be. How are you going to identify them? Will leadership send out a request, a memo, and think about other key personnel that can be part of your team. Then you'll need to train everyone. Who's going to conduct it? Are you going to do a training? Would you like them to be included in this training? Is it going to be held, what platform, et cetera? All those details are important. And when is your deadline to do that? And then motivate your team. Are you going to have weekly, bi-weekly, monthly meetings? What emails are you going to use? How are you going to engage them? And then of course, what type of recognition? Can you get a letter from leadership? Is there certificates? We do have certificates available online, but if you want to have a special agency certificate, that can be part of the planning. I'm happy to help you figure out those details. And this is a list of not only your key workers, but others who would be a great addition to your team. I know with key workers obviously are the worker bees, the ones responsible for submitting paper pledges, tracking results to you, and you'll be working with them closely throughout the campaign, giving them information, supporting their needs. IT is certainly helpful, especially if there's an intranet, company-wide email that's going out. You can plug CFC into that fairly easily. I know, especially if you're new to virtual platforms, having IT assistance is helpful. If I can do it, anyone can, and I'm happy to help with practice if needed. But I know I did get some helpful tips and tricks from my someone that was good in IT. So it's just necessary these days. Then of course we have ethics office to assist with necessary approvals, public affairs or communications if you have that. They're already spreading the word about agency events. So consider adding CFC onto that. And then if you do have an events committee, they'll be able to help you plan and execute events. It's certainly, I know people get a lot of emails, and so it's part of this planning is just, how I'm going to be sending you a couple every week, just figuring out, what's the most effective way to reach everyone, and certainly tagging on to other communication that's already being sent out is, I think is a nice, way to streamline. And I know, again, days are short, but, meeting with teams regularly is helpful and keeps everyone engaged and on track to the bigger vision of why we're doing this, and we're raising money for these amazing charities that are helping others in need. So it's just nice to have reminders every once in a while with meeting your team. All right, so we've gone over a lot so far. Let's do a quick check-in here. Any questions? Thanks for putting your names and information in the chat. I really appreciate that. Any questions? All right, well, we're doing good on time. And I don't know about you, but I don't often get a lot of time to stretch. So in honor of our 60th anniversary, I'm setting my timer here. I wanted to do a 60-second stretch break, or if you're needing to, stand up and get an extra drink of water, feel free. And I'm also not like a certified, yoga instructor or anything, but I just wanted to take a 60-second stretch break, stand up, stay in your chair, whatever comfortable. If you want to turn on your video, just take a little break. I know I've been sitting a lot lately, so I've been trying to get up more. Just taking that. I know it's kind of weird when I have a background. I'm sorry, my hand's disappearing, but just take a little moment to stretch, take a breather. All right, excellent. And a not so subtle way of engaging that 60th anniversary. So try to, I'm not very creative, but that's as good as I can do as far as engaging that 60-second. Okay. All right, well, there's no questions. We'll just continue on. So we have marketing. So we'll be going through tools and resources available, how to order and distribute materials, how to promote your campaign, and how to plan and host events. So I think this is the fun part, so I hope you do too. All right, so there are many materials and resources you can use during the campaign. So you want to be thinking about that as you're looking at your campaign plan of how you will get these materials and how to distribute them to key workers. So you may want to use more digital print materials than print. So if you're, depending on your remote work environment or not, Keep that in mind. But we have the barometer poster, so you can use that to track your progress. The profile poster is here in the middle. We have how to give. Those donor cards are available, and 3 great reasons to give. So, these are, well, let me go to the next page. So available for print are the general posters and the donor cards of, of how to give. There's a lot that is available for download. So the print means, what I can send to you, but there's a lot available to download that you can print yourself. So it's basically in 3 buckets. So we have resources, publicity materials, and toolkits. So as I said, you're attending today's training. We're going over a lot. It's fantastic. I'm so glad you're here. But we don't expect you to remember everything we talk about. So that's why we have a detailed campaign management guide, which you can use as a guidebook throughout the campaign. We have a very helpful key worker guide and even a checklist that's very useful for key workers to just know what is expected of them. You can access all of these materials and resources we've talked about. The digital resources, again, I think are helpful to attach in your, in your emails and whatnot. And I did see we have a question in the chat. Can we do online pledges? Yes, Mary, you can. So there's 3 ways to give, and I'll show in just a moment, but yeah, 2 of those are online. So they can either download the CFC Giving app on their phone, or they can go to the online pledge portal and make an online donation. And then that's why we do want them to put their 6-digit CFC code, so then your office gets credited for that pledge. But yeah, we do. And actually, I know some donors still like the paper pledges, but we are working towards having more things available online and encouraging that, of course, for, environmental concerns as well. But it's also, it's really easy. I'll be walking you through that in a minute, but thank you so much for the question, Mary. Okay. Yeah, so this is what the landing page looks like. So everyone, federal employee or not, can go to this website, givecfc.org. Uh-oh. Okay, so just hold on with me one moment. I get to do the fun little switcheroo here. Okay. So this is the central landing page where you can direct people. It has here, they can donate online. So you can just press donate. There's, some stories available, Changemaker, charity stories, charity videos. There's been some kickoff videos. So please check that out. And I'm going to go, so if you go to this local CFC website, you can click whatever zip code you're on. So if you're not sure, if someone, it is just asking for, what zone am I? They can just plug in a zip code and then they'll be directed to whatever zone website they are on. So this is ours for Western Pennsylvania and West Virginia. So I'm just going to show you a few things. There's lots of stuff here. So I would recommend that you bookmark it and check back in. A lot has been loaded in the last week, but there's still things continuing to be loaded. They have to get 508 compliance. So a few are still coming, but as you can see, we've got some messages from leadership that are really, really, really neat. So please take a look at your quote unquote spare time. Okay, so campaign workers, we've got campaign materials. I'm going to start there. So you have, training materials, promotional materials, toolkits. Here is that campaign management guide that I was talking about. Key worker training, you can use that as for your own training, or the checklist and the guide or whatnot. I had someone ask me the other day, like, do they have, if they did it last year, do they have to do it again? I leave it to you. If you feel like they're comfortable, I would encourage them, to go through the training and make sure that they see, there is a new theme. There's, a few little improvements from last year. So I would encourage them to go through it. But if you don't feel the need for a formal training, I would consider, as long as they've gone through those slides, that's for me, that's fine, as long as it's okay with you. And yeah, so we've got, I was gonna say, the logos. An easy way to promote the campaign is to use themes. As you can see, I'm sporting a virtual background myself. If you're doing meetings, use that as appropriate. Add it to your email signature. It's just an easy way. You're already emailing. Add it to your email signature. Let's see what else. Let's see. So donor materials. You have donor card. So that's how to give through the CFC. So it talks about the online pledge system, to use a paper pledge, or the new CFC Giving mobile app. So, that's something that can be downloaded and attached to an email very easily, and gives great instructions. The emails and speeches, I know you all don't have time, so use this email, use this kickoff emails that we have, and specialize it for your agency, and then you're good to go. The toolkits, we have a couple that have been loaded. The Start Strong is great to help you launch your campaign, and then Cause of the Week toolkit. So that helps you promote whatever causes, the cause of the week. Our newsletter is going to include the cause of the week. Feel free to just, include what's in our newsletter, but if you want to add additional information, there's lots of stuff in there. Things like, such and such amount will help, give such and such dignity kits, and, et cetera. It has a lot of those great little snippets from our national marketing campaign, and that's what they do. So I like letting people, do what they do, and they've done a great job. So I love using that. I thought I saw something. Lauren says, I think our plan will be to do weekly emails highlighting the causes of the week, encouraging online pledges. Currently, no in-person events will be planned. And that is perfectly fine, Lauren. I think that's great. And, I certainly understand that, not having in-person events. We are going to be having lunch and learns. And so those will be virtual. But that means that you can promote those, and, for your employees, and they can, get involved with that as well. So, we're happy to help support, having a few virtual events. Yeah, that sounds great. Let's see. So we're going to go to the donate. So welcome, Michelle. All right, so I am just showing a little bit about our local zone website. So here, so once you press donate, you'll be taken to this screen. I've already registered, so I can sign in if you don't have an account, sign up now. If you forgot your password or your login information, that's a great time to update that. So once you sign in, you can go to submit a new pledge, or if you have an existing pledge, you can copy that. It's pretty straightforward, but of course, if you have any questions, let me know. But I would encourage you, if you so desire, to make a small pledge, and it does help to figure out what's needed, what works. And again, we encourage you to use that 6-digit CFC code so your office gets credited for it. So all right, and then I did want to go over, so now, if you're not planning an event, that is fine. If you do want to plan an event, and it's either virtual or in person, you can go to, I wanted to say this out loud. So Campaign Workers, and you click on forms. Don't go to the drop down. I don't know why, but anyway, click on the form, and then you'll be taken. Oops. Click on Plan a CFC event, sorry, and then you'll be taken to the screen, and you can complete a charity request form. So if you plan an event, we want to invite charities. We invite charities, all charities that are tied to your theme. We're not able to give individual invitations. It has to be randomized, so keep that in mind. And we do also want 2 weeks to invite charities. So please, again, that's why I say please plan. And if you know that you're going to have an event, we're very we're here and willing to help invite charities to your event. Of course, you can do events yourself and invite charities personally. That's fine too. I'll go to also forms. And again, this is where I was talking about, just click on it. You can do a supply order form to order printed campaign materials for your agency. But you can either use this form or just shoot me an email. I'm getting shipments ready, so I'm happy to provide you with donor cards and paper pledges if needed, and if I have that available, but please let me know. You can also, if you go to donors and cause the week, you'll see that every week there's a special cause, and this week is disaster relief. The first lunch and learn will be the week of October 4th on housing and shelter. We'll also do a lunch and learn for in poverty, children and family services on November 15th. And then I know the end of December gets a little crazy, so we've scheduled backtrack. December 13th, the week of December 13th is environmental protection. I did sneak one in before the end of December. And then finally, we'll do another one on January 10th, and that will be combining mental wellness and food and nutrition. I know those are two key areas for our zone. And I also, I'm excited to promote charities involved with environmental protection. But I wanted to make sure we gave people time to attend. So keep an eye out for those. You can find, let's see if they're already on the calendar. So we do have a calendar. Oh, come on. Go to the calendar. We have the campaign management trainings. And yes, our first lunch and learn is already on there from October 7th. We'll get the other dates added. We've confirmed, but my campaign support specialist has been working her tail off this week. But now you guys get a sneak peek on the dates. So I think that's all I wanted to. There's lots more, but I don't want to belabor it. And again, check it out. There's lots of campaign materials are going to be the where you can go to get a lot of information, and then virtual charity fair. There's just lots of stuff. So please take a look. All right. And all right, so now this is the fun part where I get to try to go back. So hold on with me just a moment. Technology loves me, technology loves me. If I talk about it, whoops. All right, can someone speak and let me know if you can see the website slide?
Yes, we can see the website slide.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right. I could usually go with just coming back. All right, excellent. Oh man. Okay. So now how do they, there we go. So a lot I've already covered already, but yeah, promoting the campaign. So yeah, please feel free to, let everyone know about those lunch and learns. They're great ways to promote the local charities and national as well. And there's lots of materials online. So if you can't find something, you're like, I thought I saw it somewhere. Again, I'm just an email or a phone call away. I mentioned these also while I was on that givecfc.org website. We have, you can share your own story, watch charity videos, read the charity stories. And again, I encourage you to make your own profile poster. I know, particularly in this virtual environment, I know I feel, I'm eager to learn more about my colleagues. And this is a great way for us to get to know each other and building on a great cause like the CFC and talking about different causes that are important to us. So I think it'd be a great way to engage coworkers on something outside of work. Okay, so, and again, we've talked about this a little bit, so I don't want to keep going in circles, but events. So we do have an events guide that will be available and a toolkit that will be available soon. Again, it's waiting on 508 compliance, but we do have some ideas here you can see, and some of them are virtual, some of them are in person. So depending on what your agency is protocols are currently, take a look. I know we had a music festival last year and a holiday event where we had some cooking that was all done virtually. There's an idea of doing like a drive-through sort of charity booth sort of thing, or virtual charity fairs. There's things that we can continue. Oh, Halloween party, awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. So then, oh, and speaking, I'm glad you said that, Lauren, because when you're hosting events, I do have a few promotional items. So let me know, and then you can give some prizes out, help get people excited. We love free stuff, right? So let me know, and I'm happy to share the goodies. And you guys, it's a small group, so this is on, special news. We have blankets, we have recycled utensils, and we have hats. We have tons of pens too, but I feel like those are a little bit more exciting than the pens. So keep me in mind, especially when you're planning events. I do have to ship it, so keep all this timing available. Once holidays get closer, post office is going to be very busy. Keep all of that in mind, but just to keep you, I'd love to help support the engagement and the participation with a fun little prize. So But yeah, Halloween party. I know people have talked about doing like scavenger hunts and all sorts of, cooking classes, things like that. We're becoming very creative in what we can do online and fun ways to do it. So there's, jump rope challenge on here. I know people have done like, I think walkathons were a hit last year as well. So, before it gets too cold, get people out walking for a good cause. All right. Come on. There we go. Okay. So the reporting. We do want to ensure that we are keeping track of the collection of pledges and submission of pledges. If people are doing it by paper, you want to provide reports, briefings to leadership, track progress, and then of course recognition. I feel like it's very important. I know, again, this is volunteer, so I appreciate the time that you guys are spending on this, and we want to recognize not only you, but your team members. So, so if you are doing paper pledges, you have to think about how you're going to collect them. And then, where are you going to store them? How are you going to pay for postage and all of that? I know Mary's already shared on that they'll be doing online. I don't know if anyone else online is thinking about paper pledges, but there's envelopes that can be sent and all sorts of like logistical fun details. So if you have any questions, let me know. Of course, they do need to know the 6-digit CFC unit code, include the department, agency, and office. So, part of your key workers duties will be to make sure that that this is filled out correctly. Oops. Oh, and before I go ahead, so, and we already addressed this earlier, but just for the newcomers to the group, there is 3 ways to give. So again, encourage the online portal. I do feel like it's pretty easy. And then of course the CFC Giving app. For those of you that have been with us for a few years, it's better. It's new and improved. So they worked on quite a few things, and now it's it's always been safe, but it's now a little bit more user friendly. All right, so we will be sending you weekly campaign progress reports that will cover campaign giving results and % contact made. So this will be broken down by department or agency or unit level. So you'll be able to see the progress your campaign workers are making for each of your office, and then you can share it to your leadership. You want to brief them, based on how much they want, but you can do it as often as weekly. Let them know of any upcoming events. And we'll be providing not only that newsletter that has, the national kind of framework, but also the individual results as well. And I forgot to remove this. This is basically just a reminder of, yes, it's you want to track progress, ensure all employees have been given the opportunity to give through the CFC. So if someone wants to give, they know that they can give either online, on their phone, or by paper pledge. All right, now this is fun. For agencies that have creative and competitive offices, which I think that covers everyone. We have 3 different contests that celebrate the 60th CFC anniversary. It's created to inspire donors, garner community support, and recognize campaign workers for their efforts to encourage giving. So the first 2 are best use of technology, best campaign video. And then of course we have the photo award. So that's using that 60th anniversary logo that's on this side, and putting that on a landmark or somewhere around your office in a fun, unique, or interesting location. So keep an eye on that. Share about this, and I'm hoping to see a lot of amazing creations. All right. Whew. It was a lot, but putting it all together, don't worry about like consuming this whole slide. It's kind of a lot, but it's basically the 3 buckets of campaign management, campaign marketing, and campaign reporting. So right now, you're still kind of in the management stage, but you're kind of in the marketing stage as well, where you want to develop your campaign plan and make sure that you have your team established. But thinking about, are you going to do an event? If you are, how are you going to promote it? How are you going to promote, maybe events, like the lunch and learns that are already being created, things like that. And then of course, the reporting, is also an important piece of, providing leadership with numbers and tracking progress. And then of course, recognizing who's been involved and providing that as well. So you can submit your story at givecfc.org. And then, again, we have the profile poster examples. So this is Jerica. She's the campaign support specialist I was talking about. She supports housing and homelessness, and that's why she gives. And then we have my regional director, Lana, and she gives to CFC to support the environment and to educate and empower. So there's lots of examples. I would encourage you to go to the Cause of the Week page on the website. That's where I grabbed some of my my verbiage once I picked a cause. And so you can, and again, it ends with CFC makes it easy for all of us to change the world. So it's basically a template. I want to make sure we have time for questions. So I did share the template with you, and again, I feel like it doesn't auto-populate like we all would love for it to do, but it does give you an idea of the formula. All right, and I'll stop now. Any questions? Lauren, would you be willing to share about your Halloween party and how you promoted it, how you organized that, and any lessons learned or best practices from that we could hear about?
Well, actually, it was put on by Maine CFC, and it was just a virtual Halloween contest. So we all wore costumes and then gave the promotional materials that you mentioned to the winning costume.
Awesome. Yeah, I forgot that we did that, but yeah. And I know, yeah, the music fest was pre-recorded, but had employees provide recorded little snippets of their talent. So yeah, there's obviously going to be more details to follow about what we'll be doing this year, but I'm glad you participated. And anyone else want to share about what they did last year?
An answer to Michelle's question, I would personally say virtual is the only way to go right now, anyway, for my site. Actually, and to get back in the office.
Yeah, and Michelle, which agency are you connected to? I'm sorry, I don't recall right off the top of my head. VA. Okay. excellent. Yeah, I would say, yeah, some posters, if there is, you know, people coming in and out, I would encourage the donor card that says how to give and then includes the online giving. I again, you know, we are we're moving towards where it's almost all entirely online. I feel like because it's very convenient. And also now the giving app is available as well. And keep in mind that you can also promote that this can be part of a paycheck deduction. So it can be a recurring pledge. You know, there's 12 months out of the year, $5 every month is 60 for, whoops, how do I do that? 60 years. I need to work on my mirror imaging. So yeah, it's I think it sounds like virtual would be best for you, Michelle. And then yeah, if there's any common areas, putting up some posters would be great. And then you know, like I said, feel free to we know events are coming starting in October. Specific details will be to be determined. But you know, I'm feeling the Halloween party may come back. Maybe the music fest. Maybe a quick little you know, different things. So we certainly want to help you know, with creating events, and you guys can tie into that. So any other questions or?
So you're not going to organize any virtual charity fairs specifically, right?
So what we can help with, if you do have a charity event, we can invite charities to attend.
Okay, but it's like, especially if I think there was someone else in West Virginia, like if we're like, hey, we could do that together, right? If we wanted to.
Of course, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it can be together. And once you have a date, you can submit that charity request form, and then we can get the word out and get confirmations for you. So yeah, so I would say, I think I answered. Did I answer your question? So the virtual fair, we would ask charities to attend on your behalf.
Yes, you answered my question.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? All right, well, I want to be mindful of time. It was a pleasure to have you all with me today. So thank you so much for carving this time out. I am available again with via, I'm happy to talk on the phone or via email, whichever you prefer. And excited to support everyone's campaigns, however that looks like this year. I know that it's going to be great. And you know, I love, I'm so happy to be supporting this campaign, and I know it's gonna impact many lives. And so thank you so much again for taking on this role. So I will be in touch. Thank you, and have a good day. Thank you. Thank you, Michelle.